The Slim Fast 14-day effect on your New Year's resolution. Day 1, the new year. You want to kick it off with a bang, and you're not just talking about fireworks. Day 14, you're ready to start this year right, looking great and preferably on top.
2 weeks is all it takes to get what you really want. Swap 2 meals a day for Slim Fast protein shakes or bars, get in a 30-minute workout, and stick to a 1,200-calorie diet to lose up to 6 pounds in your first 14 days. Find Slim Fast in a store near you.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show.
Oh, that's the right music this time. Yeah. Some joyful tones to our ears. Welcome back, AfterBuzz fans. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another great episode of Pretty Little Liars. This is season 4, episode 16, Close Encounters. Definitely very close.
Whoa, yeah.
We definitely know what the title meant. This episode was so intense. I was at the edge of my seat, wanting to know what's going to happen. And for some reason, with Pretty Little Liars, I've started wanting to expecting the worst from people. I don't know if you feel that way, or if the writers have plotted in that way for everyone now to second guess the liars, the friends around them, family members. But I don't trust anyone.
Yeah, it's a show where you start to trust somebody, and 2 minutes later you are mad at yourself for trusting them.
And I must say, all of you guys know I'm Jake fan.
He's a cutie.
So I think he's the only thing innocent in the show. Definitely creeped out by Ezra.
Which, you know what? Last week I was super creeped out by Ezra, but I'm starting to think he has been drawn into the whole A thing, and he's not necessarily evil, but he's having the same issues that the girls have been having, and so he might be doing evil things, but it's for the best for somebody else, because A is going to ruin someone's life if he doesn't do something bad.
It's just the way he approaches situations and how he started acting. I think he was playing it very cool before, and now he just looks very desperate, and more than anything, it's scaring me.
Yeah, so it is a little scary, but we've seen all of the girls go through those desperate stages, so I'm hoping that it's just a little bump in the road.
I've read some tweets that our fans have tweeted us, and done some research about spoilers and what's coming out, and at this point I don't know who to trust. Is Aria playing Ezra, or is Ezra playing Aria? That's the big question out there. So we'll touch upon that later on, but let's get right into it. And we know from last week the girls were unsuccessful in finding Allie, but they did manage to give away her diary to who we think is A. So I don't know if it was A. I'm not going to make any more predictions because I don't know.
I thought we thought it was Ezra who is working for A, or is A. We don't know. I thought he's the one who snuck in and grabbed it during that whole situation.
But then we saw Travis come in, so we don't know. Did maybe Ezra escape because he saw Travis coming in? Or vice versa. So we don't know who has a journal. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to let us know. But the girls continue their search for Allie. They end up at the Busy Bee Inn to find Allie, and they were a little too late. It seemed like Allie was there based on her clothes that Aria mentions. But the window was broken. The room looked like a mess. And the door had a sign basically telling them that they were too late.
Yeah.
From A.
Great.
So it's just, you know, it's a little too perfect, as Spencer puts it.
Yeah.
The whole plan. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, I keep thinking, I mean, this diary is supposed to be Allie's diary, but to be honest, what if A wrote this whole diary to lead them on the wrong path? So they found the diary at Ezra's, right?
Yes.
So
when Hanna grabbed it.
Yeah, it just seems like everything is too perfect. But then again, it kind of does seem... But
the stories in there are actual stories.
Yeah, they're actual stories. But couldn't somebody have rewritten the stories and tweaked them? I don't know if I would trust it if I was them.
That's actually a very good point. But, you know, these girls are tough. They're out, you know, to hunt and to find Allie.
And that's their clue.
They show up to the inn with a hammer, a hockey stick. I don't know what else.
I think they need a taser and some bear spray, to be honest.
So I'm proud of them. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're actually taking some defense tools with them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give them that much. But I actually agree with Hanna that everything was, as I said, too orchestrated.
Yeah.
And Allie was not there. So whether it was orchestrated by Allie or it was orchestrated by A, I do have to agree that with Hanna that it was a trap.
Yeah.
But then again, there is rumors about Hanna that she might be involved. So we don't know.
Yeah.
If you guys know any answers, any clues, please let us know, because we love the show as much as you guys do. But, you know, we definitely want more information, and we may not, you know, hit the nail on the head every single time, and we want some help from you guys. But Spencer is arguing with Hanna that she doesn't think that it was set up and orchestrated, that Allie was actually there. So whatever is going on, it's definitely causing some commotion within the group, and some separation for amongst the liars.
Yeah.
My favorite scene from this episode was Spencer's dad walking in.
Oh my god.
To Toby's apartment, thinking that, you know, he was here to meet with Toby and to give him some advice, and Spencer opens the door.
She must have been horrified at that point.
I think so too. He's like, well, get dressed, we're going home. She's like, and I actually like that she stood her ground. She's like, well, if we're going home, then you better tell Mom what you were doing with Mrs. De Laurentiis.
Yeah, she's such a little cat.
I was like, you go, girl.
Yeah, but even better was when Toby's like, oh, the hot water's working now. And her dad's like, whoa. Okay, here we go. Anyway.
So why don't you go get dressed, and we need to talk.
Put some pants on is what he said.
Yes, without you, Spencer.
Yeah.
So we definitely know Spencer's dad is hiding something, or as he likes to call it, just not sharing all of the information. Yeah. Which he seems to be doing
literally
with
said,
his
I'm
wife.
not lying, not sharing everything. There's a difference. Do you think there's a difference? I feel like...
No, I think when you're doing it intentionally, it's definitely lying. Withholding information from your spouse or your loved ones, as much as it may hurt them, it's still, you know, information that you know
is important.
Is important, and it's going to make a, you know, in a good or a bad way, a difference in your relationship, and you withhold information, then you are engaging in a lie.
This isn't a matter of like, oh, I had a donut for lunch. This is like a big deal right here.
And both of them are attorneys. That's what really kind of freaks me out. How are they together? Because they lie on a daily basis.
Yeah.
To defend their cases.
Exactly.
Because they know the truth about their clients.
Maybe that's why they work, though, because they understand each other. But
I don't know. If
seems
we
tough.
have any couples that are attorneys, please let us know how that's working out.
Yeah, we would love to hear.
We definitely want to know. So let's do the same thing with Pretty Little Liars and with the characters, because once again, every character seems to be doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of group interactions, except, I don't think we see a lot. So one person that I am concerned about is Emily.
Yeah.
Emily seems to be the one who's always falling for people, but also falling for them to do good.
Yeah.
She has, a great heart, and she wants to help everyone, and she wants to believe that everyone has good intentions. But I don't know if she's making herself get caught up in this fantasy that Allie was actually really in love with her or liked her.
Yeah, I think she is definitely getting sucked down the drain again. And today we even saw her, like, putting lipstick on, trying on a few different jackets. In fact, I think she was even probably doing Slim Fast before this whole thing started, just to prepare for this night. With Slim Fast, 2 weeks is all it takes to get what you really want. In just 14 days, the only thing higher than your confidence will be your hemline. This podcast was brought to you by Slim Fast.
I do have to say that the girls look amazing in this season.
Yeah.
I'm loving their fashion, their new hairdo. I love Emily's hair, her highlights in her hair. So every single one of them looks amazing. So I must give credit to the stylist, whoever is styling, because I was not feeling it, last season. But
it's looking good.
It's working, whatever they're doing. So we get introduced to Shauna. Shauna comes back to Rosewood, and Emily is at church delivering some baked goods her mom made donating it to the church, and she hears footsteps. I have no idea why she was trying to open closed closets or offices instead of just running out.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they do.
Yeah.
And she sees Shauna. Shauna is telling her that she's here to deliver a message from Allie, which I still don't trust Shauna.
No.
But
there's something a little spooky about her.
Emily decides to put her through a test, asking her questions, specific questions that only Allie would know, to find out if Shauna is really delivering a message from her, or is she working with or just playing with them, period.
Yeah.
And the information that, the answers that Shauna gives to Emily seems to be sufficient enough for her to believe that Allie is really the one looking for her. And it stood out to me, one comment that Shauna made saying, well, first of all, how Shauna and Allie know one another is because since they were 3 years old, Shauna lives next to, or used to live next to, Allie's grandma. So whenever Allie would visit her grandma, I'm guessing they would play as kids.
Yeah.
And when Shauna found out that Allie was in trouble, she came to Rosewood to try to help her out and to find out who's after her. And Jenna was just part of the process to keep your friends closer to close, but your enemies closer, which is why we've seen Shauna and Jenna hanging out together. I still don't believe that.
Excuses.
Yes, because how did Jenna and Shauna all of a sudden become best buds?
Yeah.
And they were, seen with Melissa several times. So it was way too much for me to buy that story. I think she was really there on behalf of Allie, but the whole Jenna situation and her being with Paige before, I don't know. And I've always said something about Paige, I don't know what it is.
There's something weird and creepy.
But I don't think she's with Emily for the right intentions.
Yeah.
You don't go from trying to kill someone, to hating them, fighting with them because of, swim meet, and you guys are competing against one another, to now all of a sudden falling in love with her. So we definitely know, without...
It's another Ezra situation.
That everyone has an agenda. Everyone has a second plan and why they're doing what they're doing. And she's fought really hard to stay in Emily's life, take her, to Stanford with her, to become... to move in together. And even when Emily tried breaking up with her, it seemed like she was still trying to come back in her life. And we questioned why Jenna and Shauna were at the party.
Yeah.
And what happened to Jenna. That Paige was just... She was so okay talking about the situation that, Jenna drowned in her aunt's lake. But Paige was like, when Emily was talking about it, Paige was really comfortable about the conversation. So there has been pointers, and we could be wrong, but Paige is definitely on my list of people who might be working for A.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow. There's a frog in my throat.
And we have to... Now, I'm suspecting for every other partner that's in the liars' lives, if they're really there for the right intention.
Yeah. And, I mean, obviously the Ezra situation. And even before with Toby, we had some minor setbacks with Toby.
Well, we know for sure he was working for A.
Yeah.
And then he crossed over and came back to the good side. But we also know that Spencer has worked for A.
Yeah.
So there is a lot that's going on. And we definitely need some answers. Someone needs to start talking. And whoever it is, I think is going to be giving a lot of helpful and beneficial information maybe in the next episode, which we'll see. Yeah. But to finish off with Toby, Spencer, when she comes back home, she's having a conversation with her dad about having dinner and staying for dinner, but also finds out from her dad that the reason he's been talking to Mrs. De Laurentiis is because Jason, who's her half-brother, ended up falling off the wagon drunk and was arrested. Yeah. So he didn't want anyone to know about his arrest. Like, really, who goes around asking about Jason except Spencer? So, which is why he's had to communicate with his ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-lover, I don't know what to call them, because they have, their mutual son. I don't think Spencer bought that story.
No, I didn't either, though. Spencer's a smart cookie.
Yes, which is why she goes through her dad's briefcase to try to find information.
We had to pause it.
Yes, we paused it to find out what it said in the letter, and the only thing that we were able to see, which I think was what was the only thing that was relevant, was that Mrs. De Laurentiis was on the board of trustees for Radley. Now, that made me go into a whole bunch of what ifs. Yeah. But it also made me ask some questions and theories that now I want to know. We'll get into it shortly. So Spencer calls Toby to let her know not to sign the documents. Yeah. And we find out that it's too late.
Oh, no. But
he already signed it.
I understand his reasoning. Like, what's done is done. They want to move on. And that's okay. And I think Spencer took it a little too far, getting so upset. But I also think that whatever this case is about is also linked to the whole A thing. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of, you can have a freak out attack over that because that could have been some valuable information. And now Toby's sworn to silence, so he can't even talk about it anymore.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking, what conversation did he have with his dad that he was so upset? He seemed like he was upset of whatever they talked about, and it wasn't something, I think, as much as he wanted to tell Spencer, but you made a good point that because of the clause, he couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, so either there's something else that we don't know about the whole case, or it has to do with A, and I think maybe even Mrs. De Laurentiis and Spencer's dad know more about A than we think they know. Mm-hmm. And if we find out what really happened to Toby's mom, then we're going to know something else, and I would like to know. But
so, what do you think about Aria's decision?
Well, you know, at this point in the show, as much as we think that Ezra could be evil or whatever, what if Jake is bad too? I know you don't want to think that, but because we're going, no, don't choose Ezra because there's something wrong with him. But at the same time, what if Jake ends up getting tied into the same mess?
But Jake didn't go looking for Aria.
Yeah.
Aria went to him wanting to take self-defense classes based on her friend who was taking the classes. So, you know, but if we look at previously with Ezra, it just seemed like it was too perfectly planned for them to end up in the right place, you know, sharing information, the book, and you know, we saw signs and clues even in that first episode when they met on the wall. There was writings about Ace. So I haven't seen any clues about Jake, but maybe we haven't been really careful. So if you guys know anything, let us know. If you have any pictures, any certain, you know, passages from any of the episodes, tweet us, let us know, because we don't want to be wrong. Yeah. But she breaks it down to Toby. Why am I talking about Toby? To Jake, and sadly breaks up with him.
It was really sad.
It was so sad, and he knows she's after Ezra, that she's going back to Ezra, and it's obvious, and she doesn't deny it. But one thing he did bring up later is he wonders if the reason why she was taking self-defense classes was because of Ezra. If that was a person she was afraid of. Jake also witnesses Ezra out in the street being violent with the women in a car. Blonde. What is up with all these blondes? That's what I thought. I thought maybe it was Cece. So, you know, Aria was supposed to spend the morning with Ezra and then the afternoon with Jake. Yeah. And then the evening back with Ezra. Okay, well, too much. Yeah. And her reasoning to Jake was, you know, she's had a long history with Ezra, and I'm thinking in my head, girl, you're only in high school. Yeah.
That is way play the field, woman.
That is way too much history for, you know, a girl that's in high school.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll talk about that, you know, later on when we find some information as to who's on the inside with Abe. But, you know, after Jake witnesses that, I could see if he was I think he would have done something.
Yeah, he probably, you know, I feel like he would have been a little more aggressive in getting Aria back. He was acting like a normal person.
Because when she came to return the gift he had mailed to her, the necklace, he was very calm about it. Just telling her what he saw and letting her know that she needs to open her eyes. And she needs to be careful of Ezra, basically.
How sad must that have been for her to go home and find this cute little present waiting for her after she broke up with him?
That was really sad.
Yeah.
But she's so oblivious to the whole situation. She still goes to Ezra's apartment. And sitting there, just waiting for him to enter. I thought she was actually going to stick her ground and really question him and drill him down and find out what happened if he was telling the truth. But she asked him if he was in Philadelphia, and he said Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. Yeah. And he admits, because he knew where that was coming from.
Yeah.
And she tells him that Jake has seen him, but he twists the story around, making it seem like, well, Jake doesn't want us to be together, so, he's just trying to make me look bad.
Yeah. Ugh.
Comes up with a very random excuse.
Yeah.
I thought he would have done better than that.
And it was the way he delivered it, he was practically stuttering. He was like, that was Maggie's attorney. Like, Maggie's lawyer or whatever. Like, he just didn't seem like he was very confident in what he was saying. So if I was Aria, I would have been like, hey, Buster, fess up.
And wouldn't Aria question herself if he's saying, they had all these problems because of Maggie and the little son being Malcolm being in their lives. And, the reason why he came back to Aria is because they're not in his life anymore, and he wants to make her the priority. Yet you're meeting with her attorney and your attorney for you to be able to see Malcolm, so you're bringing them back into your lives. Wasn't that the reason why?
His lie did not check out.
But she was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess we're good.
She's like, I love you, and that's why I chose you. And
I really hope she's being smart about it. She's outsmarting him. I hope that's a word, but
these girls are so young, though. How can we expect them to even be smart enough to, especially in that situation? Ezra is at least 10, 15 years older than her.
I don't think he's that old.
You don't think so?
No, I think,
think he's
they're probably maybe like a 6-7 year difference.
Really?
I don't think it's that much, because he graduated with
you're right.
What's her name? Melissa.
Yeah.
And he's within that same age group.
So maybe like 6 to 8 years, yeah.
Because of whatever plans and reasoning that he did have. So I love the way they end that episode with Aria and Ezra feeding one another while poor Jake hurts himself. He's, you could tell he's obviously frustrated and upset. He's practicing and boxing. So he moves from the dummy
to the punching bag.
And I thought he broke something. I thouut he was going to break the punching bag because of how hard he was hitting. But then we see him fall on the ground, and his foot is bleeding.
Yeah.
He gets up to see that there's knives in the punching bag. How evil is
that? That's like the ultimate creepy, terrible thing that you could... I don't even want to think about it.
So the first thing that came to my mind is Ezra.
Yeah.
He's getting revenge for...
I think it's too obvious. I mean, it's very easily linked that it could have been Ezra, but I think...
But who else knew about the story? Who else knew about Jake telling Aria to...
Well, he did go to get pizza or whatever.
Exactly. So he was out of the apartment.
Could have done it, or he could have told someone about the stories that he heard. But I feel like they're going to too much trouble to point all these fingers at Aria. I mean, at Ezra. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And it's just too obvious. There has to be another...
Well,
answer.
If it's not Ezra, who would want to protect Ezra?
Or protect Aria?
No, protect Ezra.
Oh, yeah.
Jake is poking at sensitive information that, Ezra obviously doesn't want getting out.
So it has to be either Ezra or somebody working alongside Ezra.
Well, I really hope we find some information, because poor Jake, I don't want him to get hurt.
I know. It's just sweet and innocent, hopefully. Or for now.
So let's move on to Hanna real quickly because there wasn't a lot that happened. Well, one specific episode, but there wasn't a lot in Hannah's life in this episode. And then we'll move on to Spencer, Allie, and Emily. I feel like Hanna is trying to do everything that she can to forget Caleb.
Yeah.
So she starts cleaning her closet. One thing that women do usually is either they have a transformation, they do something drastic with their haircut.
They do slim fast.
Exactly. They get new wardrobe, and they also may get new friends.
Yeah.
So we see two of those that Hanna is doing in this episode. She's cleaning out her closet, getting rid of all the clothes, the ones especially that Caleb liked. And she makes a new friend, a new BFF, who she, invites him to stay over to play a round of pool, and they seem like they're getting a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah.
And she ends up kissing him. They're making out for a while until her mom walks in on them.
Another awkward moment.
So awkward. And I'm glad how her mom is handling it.
Yeah.
She knows what she's going through. And it's not easy. Especially, in a high school setting where you think that's the one and that's who you're going to end up with. Some people do. So,
yeah. But
you
it's
don't
not
think
as common. I also think it's very crazy that these girls are so willing to date these people that come into their lives. Like Paige, Ezra, Travis now. Like, what are you doing? Haven't you learned that people are not trustworthy in this show?
Well, I kind of hope they move on and they stop chasing some person and, this friend who they think is their friend.
Yeah.
And start living their lives and start chasing boys, I'd
Yeah.
rather have them just get their heart broken.
That's true.
Than to mess up their lives and to hurt themselves, which is what has been going on so far. So Shauna delivering Allie's message, I don't know. I don't know if she's doing it to help Emily, if she's doing it because she really wants to come back, or if she's doing it because she wants to break up the group. Because after she left, they got close. Before that, they weren't really close together.
Yeah.
So Emily goes with Shauna to meet Allie in this warehouse. And I was thinking Allie wasn't going to show up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But she actually showed up, and she comes in tears.
Yeah.
Telling Emily, she always knew she was, the one that
loved her the most
and cared about her. And she's the only one that she could trust, and she needs her help to come back home.
Yeah.
And she can't trust the other ones. It was a little suspicious.
Yeah. And I feel that Allie could be trying to push them apart, like the whole situation where Spencer was there. But were you mad at Spencer for showing up?
No.
I was pissed. I was
Why?
Like, I wanted Allie to finish her sentence, and then she just disappeared.
I think she was being a good friend based on what they've been through. And just a day ago, they got, rated by A.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that she was there to protect her, but couldn't she have been a little sneakier? Like,
yes.
Like,
making all those noises.
Yeah.
Really, Spencer, haven't you learned something?
Yeah.
Walk quietly,
like, wear your moccasins this time. Come on.
But we do find out that she heard more than what we thought she did.
Yeah.
So she was in the back and listening to Allie, what she was saying, and Spencer's trying to explain to Emily that she's just trying to come between us.
Yeah.
She's playing mind games with us, and Emily believes that, and Emily is back to chasing Allie again, which
is crazy. After all this time, she's just gonna flip like that.
And Spencer says, it's because you were the one drifting away, and you put kind of like you separated yourself from Allie and you didn't believe in it anymore. And it was a way to bring you back into this whole pact because you didn't believe in it anymore.
Yeah.
So
manipulation
to its best. I honestly really don't know who to believe in and who to trust and who not to trust, but we'll see. I have a couple of theories that I want to ask you guys, and we want comments. Tweet us. You guys can leave a comment on YouTube. You guys can check out all of our podcasts on AfterBuzzTV.com. My question is, the knife in Jake's punching bag, was it Ezra or was it someone else that, you know, we haven't thought of and we haven't mentioned? So we want you guys to let us know. And also, why was Shauna's picture burning? Yeah. Which we're guessing is Shauna. Based on the picture of the little girls, we're guessing it was Allison and Shauna. Whoever it was, picked it up from a locker.
Yeah, and tore it in half.
So whose locker was that, first of all, because Shauna doesn't go to school.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
So one of the liars has to be keeping a secret that we don't know about.
Unless it's Mona.
And, well, I don't know about that.
I know. I was just thinking that...
And it can't be Ezra because he's spending time with Aria.
Well,
unless it was really late at night and Aria's already gone home and he sneaks in to the school, which he has keys to.
That's very possible. We haven't seen Mona a lot. I'd like to hear about predictions for Mona as well.
Definitely. So my next theory is, or my next question for you guys, was the other patient with Toby's mom Allie or A?
We both said Allie at the same time, yes. I believe.
Who's the girl in the car with Ezra? We want some theories from you guys. We think it might be Cece. We don't know. Is Travis part of A's team? And is he trying to get out of it?
Oh. Yeah, that was going to be my prediction. I think Travis is on the dark side. He has some kind of crazy eyes. I think he's on the dark side for sure.
And based on Allie's manipulation, I'm going to have to say, is Allie really afraid of A? Or is she the one?
That's what I was thinking through that conversation with Emily, that this is all a hoax. And
because it's always about her.
Yeah. And why can she just pop up in these creepy places and feel fine, and then as soon as more than one of the girls shows up, she's gone?
Exactly. Are the girls wasting their time looking for Allie? I think that's a question we all want to know, and we want opinions from you guys. My opinion I'll give in predictions, but
yeah.
Why would Ezra want to see Malcolm if it destroyed their relationship? And, you know, I just made a comment to myself that Allison is so self-centered.
Yeah.
Why does she want to break up the liars? And my next question is Aria part of A, or is Aria A, because they've made the connections and the ties to A? There has been a lot of spoilers going on, you know, with Twitter, people making YouTube videos, now concentrating on Aria and specific episodes and scenes that make you think that Aria might be A.
Yeah.
There's also another spoiler, people talking about Hanna or Cece being A.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because they tried to be like Allie so much that they created this this A person to destroy her or to take over her life. And they have reasonings, you know, with Hanna being a little bit chubby and her keeping the diary and not wanting to share it with people.
Yeah, that definitely incriminated her a little bit.
So we don't know. We're clueless as you guys are. We hope to get some answers, some clues from future episodes coming up. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching us. We're going to see you guys next week. You guys can find us on Twitter, and you guys can find me on Instagram at RealEmmaK. Don't forget to go on to YouTube, iTunes, rate, comment, give us 5 stars. And you guys can also shop onto EmmaK'sCloset.com with promo code AfterBuzz. Where can I find you?
Tweet me at SarahGGG.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.